Well, hello there, and good afternoon, just barely. I'm Frost PDP, thank you for joining me, and today we're doing Frost's Thoughts with a brand new title screen, in fact, for Crusader Kings 2 Conclave. I should tell you first and foremost that the thing you're looking at is the When the World Stopped Making Sense mod, not Crusader Kings 2 Vanilla, so that's what I've been playing lately, that's what I've been doing a series on. I'll include a link in the description. But I don't want to talk too much about that because although it's awesome, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some changes that I've seen since kind of returning to Crusader Kings 2 because of this change in things. I mean, I've been playing it for a month on and off, so oops. I actually did not mean to do that, but you've become a heretic. Nicene. Theological debate. Go have fun. It's probably going to get erased anyway because I'm not saving this. I'm here mainly to talk today about a few issues that are plaguing the game still, or not so much plaguing, it's just like ideas that would really make the game better. One of them, the first one, comes to me from a Reddit thread, which I'll try to include in the description as well, where it was just talking about some random English guys, some English guy up here. And of course, this is in a regular game, who married a random Muslim courtier. He was a king, and he randomly married Muslim, but he married a random Muslim courtier. I can speak today. And so people were wondering, why did they do that? Well, the stated explanation was that it basically just defaults to courtier when there's nothing left. So my suggestion for this is pretty simple, right? My character is married to someone who used to be a regular courtier. In fact, she kind of isn't the best wife ever, but she's given me some good children, and she kind of, she does her job, right? And as Justinian, because, that, I don't really need too much help from a wife, but, okay, so her stats are shit, but she has a claim on the Western Empire. That's why I pressed it in case the Western Empire ever becomes vulnerable. Boom, there you go. Merger of the two empires. So, other than searching for claims, what the game should really auto-search for, and I know this might, due to engine limitations, be impossible. I mean, let's remember, this is a game that was originally designed to run on pre-HD tech, is that the AI, in this case me, should look through all the women in his realm, which, yeah, I'm not doing. But it would mean basically searching through for either matching virtues, like, is she ambitious? No, she's gregarious. Arbitrary? No, I'm not arbitrary. Kinslayer? Nah, I don't think that would be a good one. But it should search through for all these virtues, like cruel. Okay, I'm not cruel, but maybe I could have been. It should search through for all of these virtues and essentially just find somebody who matches, or it should go stat hungry. This person should have huge stats. Like my daughter here is good at intrigue. So if this other character is, this NPC is low in intrigue, he should be interested in at least a medium intrigue character with an intrigue score of 10. Yeah, it's supposed to say that, but it doesn't. Okay, so there's one. Moving on to technology, you can find a whole list of what I'm going to talk about here, and you can, I mean, I'm not going to time code it, I'm not that good, I don't have that kind of time, but I am going to at least give you a clue what I'm talking about when. So, technology, right? We all love this. Technology is great. It does things like let you build new buildings and give you better taxes, and oh man, that's awesome, but hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels. I know CK2's already done one tech change, but when I compare CK2 to EU4, there's no contest who's got the better tech system. Actually, they both have interesting elements, because EU4 is trapped in this 3-point modality. There's military, there's diplomatic, and there's administrative. Whereas at this, oh yeah, there's military, economic, and culture, but there's 8 subgroups, which is really awesome. What they should do is either add a couple of subgroups or extend this list out to like 10 or something, just to give more levels and a better upgrade pace. Because like military organization goes from 150 to 300 to 4, it's like 150% drops, pagan homeland attrition. You could split these things up, call them different things, split them up, and it would make it feel like you're getting more than just, oh, I click a button and I'm better. Because like right now with this game, I'm like, military organization, great. I just want to click the button so I can get more retinue. Okay, well, what if there was a next tech level for retinue, or some sort of branching tech level where it's like, this is the retinue section, you can get 3 points in retinue, and then you can get 3 points in this, and they're each more expensive, and like, if you're unbalanced, there's a penalty, and if you're balanced, there's maybe a bonus to that next step forward. I don't know, something like that would be really kind of cool. So those are things people usually complain about, right? Oh, they could do this better. Well, here's one that I like, that I discovered kind of on my own, and I think should really be a big thing. So let's say I build a new holding. Well, I could do that easy because this, for whatever reason, I'm making 104 ducats a month. I'm rich, I know. So I can build castles and cities aplenty. And, alright, since I build them, they go to me. And when I grant them to someone, that someone gets a bonus of opinion. They get happy that they get granted land. And aren't you supposed to be my vassal? Or at least my tributary, weren't you? Oh no, interesting. You're independent and Jewish. Huh. Monophysite. Well, you won't vassalize under me anyway, so it doesn't matter. So listen, sidetracks aside. Let's just go to random C here. Municipum, and God knows, I wish there was a way you could just, like, I know that one of the updates they're going to do is a lot of, like, choose your own rules. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I kind of get it. I get where they're coming from. That feels almost like a masterpiece, which kind of worries me in the sense that, like, they're going to stop further development soon, which is probably why I'm making this video in the first place. But for the sake of argument, I go to this guy, right? Serapun. He's a mayor. I know he says a preferatus. He's a mayor, okay? He's the mayor of this city here. And look, there's fortifications building, right? So maybe he's a bad example. Let's find someone who's not building anything in their home place. This guy, you. My Magister Militum. Wouldn't he really like a shipyard to have some boats? Or maybe a bigger keep? I have extra money. If I built that for him, I should get an opinion bonus. Now, if he's a king and he makes a lot of money and I buy him something small, that should only be a couple points. But if he's, let's say this newly appointed count over... no, you're king. Let's say this newly appointed count. And I build him something that's 300 prestige, which should be the equivalent of gold, by the way. Absolutely, he should get a huge bonus with me. Like, hey, you just built me a big part of my castle. Like, that's great. Thank you. I owe you for this. Or it should be a favor or something. I think that'd be a really good way of buying vassals off indirectly. Like, you don't just send them gold, you build them something. Maybe they send gold. And I'll just bring that window up, because I know there's got to be some kind of formula. I already sent her a gift, but that doesn't help me anyway. Send gift, right? So if I sent him a gift of 191 gold, he would boost by 19. So that's like a formula there, right? Like there's like a 100 to 10 ratio there. Okay, maybe that's just because he's a king. Maybe that's whatever. But maybe that's based on his income too. And that's fine. Keep that formula, but use that for the same formula for buying something in a province instead. Maybe cut the effect in half, because I could see somebody going crazy with this and like buying up a million things. Maybe make it a one-time only thing. Like, oh, you built me something that has to wear off after a while. But that's just a thought. Succession law for empires. Alright, now look. I don't know how much of this is mod and how much of this is not. So, you're going to have to forgive me for bureaucratic. That's really cool, right? But here's the thing. My succession laws are all over the place. Because Thrace is Gavelkind, even though this is primogeniture. So right there, I have a problem. And I can't get it to match until I've read for 10 years, at peace. And then what? Oh yeah, I need all of this crap. And I'm not really sure why I don't have any of that. So, I think that at least for an empire, the emperor's kingdom, or at least the first kingdom, should be just automatic. It's yours. It passes through inheritance. But wait, there's more. Empires like the Roman Empire They didn't always go by hereditary succession. I know they had like tons and tons of I'm gonna raise the legions against you and take over the capital, especially Western Rome, which had tons of problems with the generals taking the capital. See the original Caesar and the Rubicon and all that. But here's the thing, right? So, with all of that considered, doesn't it also make sense that the emperor picks his own heir when he can? I mean, Diocletian did. I think Constantine did. Diocletian split up the entire way of, like, governing the empire. He, more than anyone, made it in Eastern and Western. I know Constantine gets a lot of credit, but Diocletian and his reforms were huge. So, or that I completely forgot my history, I'm not sure which. But the point is, yeah, you're not in much of a defensive pact, are you? But I feel as if there should be some way for empires, I'm talking empire tier and probably imperial administration, to choose your own heir, and that heir gets everything you own. Pretenders in this case should automatically be your oldest child, male or female, at least, and should also be like, have a lot of support from the noblemen. Any feudals should be like, no, we want this kid instead. And you should be able to choose your successor out of anybody. What does that do for the dynasty inheritance mechanics that base the game? Well, in this case, I have a perfect example here. This character came to my previous character as a wandering guy, and because he's Justinian, he's the historical Justinian who came out of a farmland with his uncle being a praetorian or whatever, I accepted him as my son. And after the inheritance got split, he promptly killed his brother, but that's beside the point, right? I mean, you know, probably mean thing to do, but the kid wasn't coming out like a Superman or anything, so, you know, right? Like, this guy's doing much better, and he's got a pig. I don't know. Indolent could become charitable, slothful, or gluttonous. So, let's see. Succession laws. If you could select your own succession laws in empire, the feudals would naturally hate you. They would want you to have to subscribe to giving them more power and independence, which they should always be pushing for. And especially, like, if you balk your own family, the feudals have an instant malice against you because they believe, just by nature, bloodlines should determine power. So, let's say that this is the character who had gotten a choice between this child and this child, and he chose this child, which is kind of what happened in a really, really unexpected, like, I honestly thought when I died I was going to be this kid, and then get killed by this guy anyway. So, it's a little weird, right? But follow me. So, Justinian becomes the king, right? Because I chose him. Should absolutely hate him, absolutely hate him, absolutely hate him. Just fucking mind-boggling, like, you screwed my family over. Like, you don't really have power here, we do. Okay. So, and there's always succession law wonkiness. They need to make a way to just make it clear, but I cannot tell them that for the life of me. Government types. Okay, so this comes from this Theodoric guy over here, right? I granted him land as a count. I wanted to grant him land as a viceroyal, but I couldn't, and I'm imperial administration, which is weird, right? But it's just because he's a feudal vassal. He's not even feudal, he's tribal. So, I don't know. I'm not sure how or why that's working. Marriage ties, he's got a bunch, but he himself is not married yet. That's weird. I can marry him to my daughter. I could. That would actually get a pretty powerful alliance. Especially if he's going to be getting Vandalica. Something to think of for later. Government types, right? You get really no control over your government type. You are what you are. I know there are all sorts of hinky ways to get around that. I know because I've done it repeatedly. Oh, I let my capital get looted. Oops. I probably got burned down. Oh well. I did that here. I did that in Alexandria as well. That's why you have these little trade zones that all belong to this, right? I mean, you can kind of see the benefits here. Scythian mine even trades in Rome. But, now that I think about it, could there be a better way? I'm totally going to set one up here if I can in Vandalica. That'd be nice to have a little sub-vassal. Sub-republic over here to exploit this neighborhood. Kind of like a Genoa. There is no Venice. Venice belongs to the Emperor. Haha. And it's undeveloped because this is a mod that's set in the year 499. I digress. So, should there be a way to switch government types? Yes, I think so. But I think there should be either costs involved if you're trying to force a vassal to change to a republic, or if you, let's say your character decides to go down this path, and it should take years. Like, you should have to pick a focus, like carousing focus or something. Maybe you start letting other people have more power. You maybe have to have certain virtues. But you can say, I'm declaring this a republic. What does that mean? That means vassals of all other sorts are going to fight you. That means you better have a good retinue, lots of money for mercs, and just be ready for a war. But should you be able to do it? Yes. That works very well under Imperial administration, which, by the way, I know feudal and imperial are close, but they're not the same quite thing, so maybe don't let that happen so easily, or maybe let it happen depending on how drastic change. I mean, if an imperial wants to go to theocracy, or a republic wants to go to theocracy, well, oh, I didn't have this on my notes, but theocracies, playable, please. Please. A lot of people want to be war pope. If you can do it in a U4, you should be able to do it here. Just a thought. I know he makes a great NPC. I know he makes a great NPC, but being able to decide where the Crusades go yourself, and that's just kind of important to me, I think. So there's my spat about government types. Martial tied to combat skill. I was actually surprised because I was talking to a friend about this, and he said martial is not tied to combat skill. So this is Justinian. He has a martial skill of 26. He's a skilled tactician, a genius, a legendary leader, and ambitious. His combat skill is 2. In other words, he's barely better than your average footman. No, that's bad. That's counterintuitive. You would think sending my 26 martial character into combat makes him unbeatable. But where does he even get this extra point of melee from? Genius, personal combat skill, that's it. He's a regular guy except for genius. Now, I know there are other traits that influence this, like cruel probably influence, but come on, really? 26? This character is, by all accounts, like the best military leader, short of Belisarius, that this empire could have right now. Combat score of 2, I mean, really? How about this? How about every 10 points, you get 1. So from 1 to 10, you get 1. 11 to 20, you get 2. 21 to 30, you get 3. So you should get 3 just from that. And that accounts for your 1 per random guy. If you want to do really bad, like 1 through 5 would be -1, 5 through 10 would be 1, and so on and so forth. It'd still give him like 3, right? Plus like 1 for genius, fine. Plus add a couple other combat modifiers. Like if the character is freaking a skilled tactician, which really he should be higher than this, I think. Shouldn't that give him, like, it even says a personal combat skill 1. So you're telling me, like, this person has personal combat skill of 0? I guess she has personal combat skill of 0. But that makes no sense. Fix personal combat, because I could see that being a really cool way to settle disputes. Like, dueling should be a thing, and that's a little more popular. But it's not popular because you can't really, finick the numbers. If you have a character with stupendous military score, you should want to duel people. You should be like, yeah, okay, come on. You want to fight me? Let's go. I'll kill you. That's all. That's all. No, it's not. Threat. I'm threatening. I have 67%. Mainly because I did Pannonia Imperial Reconquest and Pontus. I still have that Pontus thing on me. So first of all, now that I've been playing for a little while with Threat as a thing, it's new in Conclave, so if you're not familiar with it, it's Conclave. And I wish I could just move this over here, but I can't. So monthly decay is 0.21. First of all, it's like 2% a year, 2.5% a year. It's not bad, but that's not great. Like, that really, like, just to get down to 50, it's going to take like 5 years. That's boring. There's nothing to do. I mean this. Other than just build up max size cities and keep building them and keep giving them out. Like, there's really nothing to do. Some of these claims are really tiny. 3.11, like, that's cool. Okay. But then wait a minute. Iconion. Where the hell even is that? Like, I don't remember doing a single county claim for anyone. Maybe they did it, right? Maybe they did a single county claim, and I'm just inheriting their threat upward. In fact, that looks very likely because when you have that happen, like, you're supposed to propagate up. So it looks like one of my vassals did something and got me threat, but hey, look, right there, look at the math. 50 plus 50 is 100, right? So I should be at 100 threat. There should be a thing that, just like in EU4, says deteriorating over time. I mean, this is probably like, I probably should have led with threat, because this is really like the thing that bugs me about CK2 right now. Not because I can't just raise up an army and steamroll anyone, but because I feel like that's cheap. Basically, like, I feel like I could steamroll the entire world right now, but that's just because, like, me, right? So, I feel like, first of all, you should see the effects taking down. It should say original 50. Now, something else. And monthly decay should be determined by state diplomacy, if nothing else. So 38. It should tell me right here, state diplomacy. Spouse plus 1, counselors. My spouse is, yeah, she sucks. But state diplomacy should lower your threat, should be reflected in your lowered threat, right? And more importantly, like, a counselor should be able to go to a foreign diplomat and start lowering your threat with them specifically, which is like the other big change. Like, they brought coalitions from EU4 into CK2, and that's fine because coalitions were actually a somewhat reasonable check on, you know, growth. Like, anytime I've played it or I've seen other people play it, you have to limit how much you grow. So you can't just go, oh, I'm going to conquer all of this, and I'm going to conquer all of this, and I'm going to conquer that too, and no problems. Like, no, you're going to have problems. But it's only going to be problems with the people that are near where you're conquering, or that you have a direct border with. God, I wish there was like, diplomatic relations mode, like, I don't know what any of that means, other than maybe there's a CB here, and he can't attack, like, okay, I don't know. Diplomatic map mode, not so clear either, but if there was a threat map mode, maybe I could use it. Defensive pacts, right? That's what it is. People form defensive pacts. But it doesn't say who's in the defensive pact, does it? No. Diplomacy map mode. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to find it. I don't know what it is. It's not intuitive enough. It should be down here. Defense pact. There it is. It is down there. Okay. So, the Gepids have defensive pacts. Well, they should have a defense pact against me, but apparently none of them are in it. The Goths are in it. So, okay, so I click on myself, and now I can see them. Alright. So I see defensive pact down here. It doesn't tell me which one. Like, it's not the Christian, it's not the pagan, I don't know. And it tells me all these guys oppose me too. So if I go to war with any of them, I'm going to get jumped by them. Okay, fine. But what if I wanted to pull the Goths out because they were a real threat? Or how about that time I had the Western Empire in a pact against me when I was trying to reclaim imperial lands? Well, what should end up happening is very simple. You should be able to go diplomatically and reduce threat through your counselor. This little guy here should do more than just fabricate claims. He should be able to reduce threat. Simple. Oh. Onto my favorite, my little sundries, my events and whatnot. So I'm currently in Messena to fabricate claims. I no longer need him to be there. I want to go back down to... some reason I have a religious site down in here. I'm not even sure why. So I need to start conquering land. Well, I'm not saving this file anyway, I'm just quitting, but when I go to assign this dude here, there's a claim fabricated, 17% chance. Now, that's pretty freaking good, right? But that doesn't take into account the skills that other people might have in spy defense, like intrigue. And I really have to say I like what they did in EU4 by making a, whatchamacallit, like, when you make a spy network in EU4 now, you get claims through your spy network. And there should be, like, at least somewhere there are oppositional roles where this guy has a defensive pact against him. That's adorable. There should be a concerted ability to like spy, counter spy, like, oh, I caught your spy and now he's getting his head chopped off, or oh, you know, you've spied well enough to get like a claim against me. Like, that's how it should work. It should not be a random chance per year, because you can get 3 years in a row, or you can wait 20 years with the 20% chance and get nothing. And it's never clear why. It doesn't tell you like, oh, it's because this guy's state diplomacy is so high you can't get a claim on him. Why would it tell you that? Like, it should tell you plain and simple, your counselor and your state diplomacy are not good enough to do this, or yeah, you've got a huge edge, you're going to just be able to claim their entire country. Now, mod-specific stuff, I don't really have much to say other than it's 499. You don't really need a big CB, especially not for the Byzantines and the Sassanids to go to war. Like, that's not really a big thing. They should be, like, I would be stunned if they don't have claims on me for some reason, and they don't. Like, I don't see how the Sassanids are not invading me on a regular basis, because they do that. I know they technically invade, like, neighboring states or whatever, but tributaries are automatically brought in, so, like, why? I don't get it, right? And this guy's a different religion than me. He should be able to declare religion, CB. Let me see if maybe I'm just being a dummy, and I'm not looking at the diplomacy mode fast enough. So his diplomacy mode, right? Migratory invasion. So I guess can be called to war. Can be called to war. Well, he's got a lot of tributaries that are probably not supposed to be his tributaries. So he can declare holy wars. He can declare whatever he wants. Me and my CBs are like, I can declare war on you for tributary, and that's it. Okay. I mean, that's stupid. Can't believe you pay this Persians. I might have to do something about that next game. I would not even have to fight the... He'd have to be like a double tributary. That makes no sense! Unless it's just not telling me he'd get called in. But it should be automatic call-in. If he's a tributary, you declare on him, automatic call-in. Oh, look, there's an emperor. Okay. So, again, just do it based on dice rolls. 1d100. You roll your skill. You start off at 50 and you roll your skill back and forth. And eventually you either get there or you get kicked out. Like, do it that way. So much easier. Just progressive. Otherwise, I really think that's about all there is to say. I've talked for long enough. If you have any thoughts for what Paradox should do, and I'm going to post some, like all the important places, please go ahead and leave a message in the comments. If you enjoy hearing me talk about CK2 and probably other games, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll be happy to be around for a while. I'm going to probably do a channel trailer shortly, which is just going to be like hilarious. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and as always, La Paz.